Well, hi little birds. Welcome back to my channel. Uh, it's still raining, and of course, California needs it. So it's only a little bit of time that we will have to deal with the rain. But in the meantime, it's just like, bleh, you know. And today we're going to talk about. I've tried to avoid this, and as much as I try to avoid it, the more I see it. And I'm talking about the Gamestop transgender woman. OMG. Okay, now most of us have been there. Most of us started from somewhere. And if you are transgender, you understand what I'm saying. There is a time for most of us that we don't pass that well, and it can get frustrating, it can get annoying, it can get under your skin. And look, I've been misgendered now. In fact, it happened the other day, and I'm like, I just let it slide by because I think for the most part most people don't mean anything by it. Some do, and you have to pick your battles, if you will, as my mother always told me. Pick your battles, pick which ones you're going to fight, pick and drop the ones you're not. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to waste a lot of energy arguing with someone over this. Now, if they incessantly keep doing it and are malicious with it, hey, just leave them. Go on with your life. Don't let it get under your skin, because it just causes you stress, anger, and that's not what you need in your life. And if you're trying to transition, stress and anger aren't good things to have. It's not going to help you transition well. So this woman goes into GameStop, you know, trying to get a game for her son or whatever, and she just started. She is, from what I understand, she had just started on hormones not too long ago, and is just newly out. So she has not worked on much, hasn't done anything transition wise. So I can't blame the store clerk at all. At the same time, he could have just changed it up and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, she." But on the same page, this woman could have just calmed down and said, "Okay, you obviously don't need my business. I'm leaving." Rather than getting so worked up, yelling at people at the top of her lungs, which, I can understand, but handle it a different way. And then kicking down a display and going, "I'll meet you outside." You know, you gotta understand people, and you can't always act that way with someone using the wrong pronoun. Correct them a couple of times and then go on. Just leave them alone. Obviously they're not going to support you. They're not going to say it, and you can't force them to say something. And unfortunately, there's so many memes on this now. It looks very negative on the community. So as an individual, you have to conduct yourself in a way that doesn't hurt the community. And if you act like this, you're hurting the transgender community as a whole, guess what? Next time I might go out and I tell them, yeah, hey, I'm a trans woman. They might be like, oh, are you gonna, act like that woman in GameStop? And did yes, there's no connection between me and her, but it's still there because we both identify as a very small minority group. And when you go viral on a negative thing, your community gets, you know, you definitely don't get brownie points. Let's just say that. But it doesn't help. So, my day to day life, I always try to conduct myself in a way that positively helps our community. Shows, hey, I'm just an average person. Yes, I identify differently. Yes, I grew up as a boy and identify as a woman, but I'm still human. I am still a person. And so that's always been my philosophy and how I conduct myself in my day to day activities. You know, yes, I've had persecutions. Yes, I've had people misgender me. Yes, I've had people not use my name. But I've never got so worked up that it would reflect negatively on me and but also as on my community as a whole. Because I want the generation behind me or the one or my kids age not to be hurt by how I conducted myself. So she could have handled it differently. She could have just left. Go to another GameStop. Hell, go to another store. There are other game stores. You could have shopped on Amazon. I mean, there's so many options you could have done without making a big ass giant scene. Because now it's run across media all across the world. It's gone viral across the internet. There are really ugly memes, which I can't stand. And I feel for her because she just wanted to get a game and she felt like he was being very rude, but from what I saw, he was just identifying like most people do, just looking at her and going, well, she talks like a man and kind of looks like a man, so it must be a man. So you have to understand society works very basic. They go off of looks, clothes, voice. There are many cues that people go off of that they assume, oh, that person's a male or that person's a female. It's not. And of course, I understand it hurts us and it's annoying, but at the end of the day, represent yourself, represent the community, represent, your family and how you were brought up. If that's how you were brought up, fine. Go get angry, tear up displays, go burn down the building, sue them, whatever it may be, but I don't think GameStop was in the wrong. Now, what was the trans woman in the wrong? Yes, absolutely. Handle it differently. So that is my take on it. That is how I feel about it. I definitely feel pronouns and names should be respected, but if they're not, don't sit there beating a dead horse with a single person. Just leave, go on. And they may change, they may not. And we have to accept that. Some people aren't going to accept it. Some people aren't going to do it. And I mean, just look at Ben Shapiro. That's his whole thing, and he has a whole lot of followers that are mostly Trumpites that follow Trump. So, what the best way to represent ourselves and to help our cause is to conduct ourselves in a manner that is representative of our community as a whole, not making a scene. I'm not saying blend in, but at the same time, represent as well. Be you're what people see, and if they know you're trans, when they see your behavior, and if it's like that, then that's what they're going to associate with trans people. So be an advocate for the rest of us. Alright, little birds, be your authentic selves. Subscribe. Comment. Ultimately, I don't do this just because I like hearing my voice, but I do like to, put up what I feel on things and how my transition is going. So follow other people that I follow. They're all great ones that I follow. Hit the little notification bell, and I will see you next time. Bye.